I hope the screen is visible. As I was saying, we can categorize user-defined functions for our convenience into a few groups depending on the return type and the arguments. So depending on the existence or non-existence of arguments and return types, we can categorize our user-defined functions. So one type we saw here. So what kind of a user-defined function is this? This user-defined function is one where you have the function sorry about that, function accepts arguments and returns value. And remember, from one function you can return only one value at a time. At a single instance of time, you can return only one value from a function. Okay, you can return only one value at a time from a function. Remember that. You can have multiple return statements. That is allowed. You will see the use of multiple return statements. You will see them as we move along in our course on functions. You'll see that you can have multiple return statements, but only one return value at a time. A function will return only one value at a time, although it has multiple return statements. So one class of functions is a function which accepts arguments and returns values. You can also have a function which accepts arguments but returns no value. Returns no value. Even that is possible. You can have a function does not a function not accepting arguments but returns value. And the fourth category is function does not accept arguments and returns no value. Okay, I can write this add function in all four ways. So we have seen this one. We have seen the first one where a function is accepting argument and returning value. We can also have a function, that function defined in such a way that it accepts arguments but returns no value. So let's see this. So if it's not going to return a value, then you will have to display the output in the function itself through a print statement. So let's try to implement the add function in this manner, where the function will accept arguments but it will not return any value. So if it's not going to return any value, that means there will be no variable on the left hand side of the function call. Why do you need a variable on the left hand side of the function call? You need a variable on the left hand side of the function call so that the return value from the function can be stored there. So we don't need a variable in this case, and the return type will change from int to void because it's not returning any value. And after I calculate, now I need a variable which will calculate the sum. Now after calculating the sum, I need to print it. I need to print it in the function itself. So I'll say sum is, so I can just copy paste this, right? I can simply say this one, just cut paste this. Yeah, so the sum is this. So instead of having the print statement here in my main, I'll have it in my function itself. So now you can see that this function is accepting arguments, but it's not returning any value. It's not returning any value. So let me just save this and show you how things work. I hope you can see the black screen. The output is visible. See, the first input is 156 and the second is 6. I get the same result. I get the expected result. Any doubts so far? Let's try another execution. Let's say 1 and 2. So I get 3. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay, so I guess we have no doubts. So moving on. So this is how you implement the function in this manner, in the second way. Now let's try implementing it in the third manner. So function will accept argument and it will return a value. So we tried this, right? In fact, I think 1 and 3 have come out to be the same. So I'll just, yeah, so this will be function which will does not accept arguments but returns value. So let's try this. Okay, so the function will not accept arguments. So here these will not be there, but it will return a value. So if it's not going to accept arguments, where will it get the input from? It will get the input. You will have to write the input statements inside the function call. You'll have to write the input statements inside the function call, right? So see, I have the input statements inside the function call, and now since it's not accepting any argument, I will not require to pass any arguments to it, but I'll have a variable on the left hand side, and I'll have to change the return type from void to int, and now it will return a value instead of printing anything. So this print statement has to go up. This print statement has to go up, and I'll have to return a value. So what do I have to return? I have to return the sum of x plus y. So I can directly return the expression. So I can say return x plus y. So this will give me the correct result. So from the function call, you can understand that this function is not accepting any arguments. That's why you have an empty argument list here. And here also you're not passing in any arguments, but it's returning a value. Since it's returning a value, I have the return type as int. So it's returning x plus y. Is this clear? Any doubts? You can please ask.
No, sir, not till now.
Okay, then let's try executing this program. So let's try executing this. Let me compile this first. Okay, I think we missed a variable here. Yeah, I think we missed a variable. So here you have x and y, but I've used num1 and num2. So this should be num1 plus num2. There is no x and y used, so it should be num1 plus num2. So let's see. Let's go back. Let's clear the screen for you. I have to execute this. Okay. Okay. So I guess you have understood where the problem lies. See, the scanner, this statement, the scanner statement has been written inside the main function. Since it has been written inside the main function, but I'm accepting input in the add function, the add function cannot access the scan object. That's why I have to write it here. I have to write the scanner. The scanner statement has to be written inside every function which is dealing with input. So since this function add is dealing with input, I need to write this scanner statement inside this function add. So let's go back. Let's go back and try executing it again. Okay, finally we have no errors and we can execute our program. So let's say it's 45 and 45. I get 90. So the program works fine, although the way I've implemented my function has changed. So you have seen the third type where the function does not accept any arguments but returns a value. And the fourth type is where the function does not accept arguments and does not return a value as well. So what will happen? So if it does not accept any arguments, then the argument list will be empty like it is here. But if it's not going to return a value, then I'll have to change the return type from int to void. So now instead of, so what is the change that I need to make? First of all, I need to have a function call here, a function call which will be in the form such as this. I'll simply write the name of the function and the pair of parentheses. The pair of parentheses will be empty because it does not accept arguments, and there'll be no variable on the left hand side of this function call because it returns no value. So you simply call the function in this way. And here inside the function, you need to accept inputs as well as display the output. So here, instead of returning a value, you will have to print the output in the function. So you'll have to print the value, and this is how it will change. So let's try executing this. We have to compile it. Since we have made changes to our program, we'll have to compile the program again. And okay, it cannot find the variable sum. Let's see what we have missed. Okay, yeah, so here we need to have the statement. So I missed the statement in sum equal to num1 plus num2. This is fine, we can do this and then print out sum. This is allowed, or you can directly print the value of num1 and num2. So what do? You say num1 plus num2. You can do this as well. So this way will save up on the number of lines of code. Okay, so this will save up. Let's try this. This is a more compact approach. Let's try this. So let's try compiling our program. Yes, it's working. Now let's try to execute it. So let's say I'm trying to add 50 with 51. I get 101. So the program works fine. Only the way we have implemented the function has changed. That's the only difference. Otherwise, everything works in the same way. And just one thing, why have I put a pair of parentheses for num1 plus num2? See, I need to put a pair of parentheses because I want the execution environment to identify num1 plus num2 as one value. See, if I don't have this, then what will happen? Then it will simply concatenate. It will simply concatenate this string value of sum is with num1. So when you're concatenating, remember, when you're concatenating a string, what is a string? Anything enclosed within double quotes. So here, this statement that you see here, which I'm highlighting, this is a string because it's enclosed within double quotes. So whenever you are going to write the plus symbol with a string, even if one of the variables, see here, one is a constant. This is a string constant, and this is an integer variable. But whenever you use the plus symbol with a string constant or a string variable and another variable of a different type, then this variable num1, its value will be treated as a string constant. That means you will simply concatenate this string result with the value of num1 and with the value of num2. But since you want the sum, you will have to make the Java compiler understand that, okay, I want the sum. I want the sum of num1 plus num2 to be concatenated with this statement sum is. I don't want them to be concatenated separately. You can just observe. If I don't use the pair of parentheses, then what will happen? These values will be treated separately and they'll be concatenated. That means joined with this string statement. Let's see. I'll show you. So let me again compile this because I've made changes. Okay, now observe this. Let's say I say 50 and 51. See, sum is 5051. That means it has simply concatenated this string constant sum is with the value 50 and the value 51. It has treated them separately, but we want the sum. That means we want the value of num1 plus num2. That's why we need to put a pair of parentheses. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Suvarnim, any doubts you can ask?
No, sir.
Okay. So now let's see what we can do next.